Hey guys, so before we get into today's episode, I just wanted to tell you a couple of things, a couple of reminders actually. First and foremost, rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. If you are listening on Apple Podcasts, please rate 5 stars, review anything you want me to know. Tell me what you think. Tell me any topics you want me to discuss, anything. Just let me know in the review section. It actually helps me out. So if you just want to say, hey girl, I'll take that too, okay? It takes 2 seconds of your time. Secondly, it is 8 days until my live show, y'all. Like, I cannot believe it. We are almost sold out with tickets. It's not sold out yet. We are almost sold out though, so you should definitely cop them if you are planning to ASAP. But I just have so many things going on and I have so many things planned. Shout out to a couple of sponsors that I have. We have liquor, we have swag bags, the whole 9 yards, okay? And I'm so excited. The link is down in the description bar to the Eventbrite, okay? If you are out of state and you want to contribute to the Do I Look Fat podcast, you can also donate to the Cash App, okay? All donations are accepted. I am 100% self-funded, 100% independent. So if you want to show some love for the 1 year anniversary, the first year birthday of this baby right here, you can bless me in my Cash App, if you please. All right. I'm going to stop because I'm just having way too much fun here in my room with all of these decorations behind me. And we're going to get back into the show.
Do I look fat?
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Do I Look Fat podcast. It's your girl, Stephy Kiss. This week's guest is a fellow podcaster, mom, and someone who's liable to say something unrated and unruly, my girl, Virginia. Hey girl, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. Thank you.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. Just early morning appointments with the kiddo and then now chillaxing and having fun with you. I'm excited to be on.
Yes, it's April 22nd, Earth Day. It's also my sister's birthday. Shout out to her.
Happy birthday.
But it's freezing outside. It is so cold. I'm literally here like I want to be bundled up. I'm trying to look cute for the video and I'm just like I'm cold, trying to like have a blanket on my legs or something because this is just fucking ridiculous at this point.
It is cold. I was trying to look cuter and then I was like, you know what? I'll just wear an oversized tee and call it a day.
It's too much. It's too much. But let my listeners know, who is Virginia? What do you do?
Hi. Well, let's see. I've been content creating for a while. I had a blog that I started in 2009 called Mom and Love Forever, aka, like, if you think about the word, it's actually an acronym for MILF. So I was doing that for a while, and then I still have it. I'm kind of rebranding and working on that. I'm gonna launch a podcast, that has to deal with motherhood soon. Yeah, but then as far as podcasting, I met Taylor, my co-host at my last job, and we used to love listening to podcasts, and every day we're like, oh, what are you listening to? Or listen to this podcast. So then it's funny because during our breaks and stuff, we'd always have, or even while working, we'd have these crazy conversations and people would listen to us and chime in and stuff. So we're like, we should just launch a podcast, So we took our time thinking about what we wanted the brand to be, what we wanted to do. And I think we took maybe 4 to 5 months before we actually launched. And then, yeah, it's been 2 years now and it's been so much fun just meeting people and just talking shit every week on a mic.
Yeah, it's amazing. You guys should definitely check out her podcast with Taylor. It's called Unrated and Unruly, and it's fire. You guys are a lot of fun. Y'all are a whole vibe. It really feels like I'm sitting with my girls, talking shit. You know what I'm saying? I've had this podcast is going to be a year, May 1st, and I wish I had a co-host sometimes. And then other times I'm like, no, because I can just record at 3:00 in the morning if I absolutely needed to.
That's true.
But it's always fun to have someone to talk to, bounce ideas off of, and just have a dialogue and a conversation. I'm actually in the works of coming out with another podcast.
Ooh.
And I'm fighting with the idea of if I want it to be still a solo podcast or if I want a co-host. Then it's I don't know who to get. You know what I'm saying? So it's
No, it's
I'm going
especially
through
with
it a little bit.
No, it's surely because with a co-host, you have to make sure that you have good chemistry because you can listen to podcasts and like tell when like the chemistry isn't good or like there's like something there between them, you know. So I definitely think like working with someone that you're friends with is good, but then also working with friends can be hard. Like I'm not gonna sugarcoat everything and say that everything's sunshines and rainbows because sometimes it's tough, but you just have to communicate and talk things through.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. And yeah, you can definitely hear like the chemistry. Whenever some like, if there's like podcast beef, you can always hear it in the episode. You're like, ooh, they're not really fucking with each other this week, are they?
Yeah.
It's just so funny. But that also brings listeners too, I'm sure, because everybody would be like, did you hear how they was talking to each other, girl?
That's true. That's very true.
So just to give y'all an update of what's going on with me, aside from, you know, this potential podcast that I'm launching, my live show is going to be Sunday, May 2nd. We are almost sold out with tickets, which is crazy to me. It's going to be so much fun. I have so much lined up. I have swag bags.
Ooh.
I have liquor sponsors. I have all types of shit. It's going to be a lot of fucking fun. So if you're in the New York tri-state area and you can get to the live show, go into the link in the bio. Everything will be there. Okay, so.
See, now you make me want to like come to New York for that. I might just have to.
I mean, you and Taylor are invited. That's all I'm going to say.
Thank you.
Let's get into our first segment. And this is called Eat Your Heart Out, right? And this is where we provide our listeners with some help tips and gems and just all types of shit, right? And I came up with this idea to talk about this because when I first started this show, my whole thing was about like diet trends and shit like that. And I'm just like, I'm tired of talking about diets. Like being a plus size woman and all of that is part of my life, but I'm tired of talking about diets. So I want to give you guys tips just to deal with life in general. And today, guys, if you've listened this far, you can shut it down now because we are talking about periods. Okay, so this ain't for y'all. So if you want to leave, I won't be mad.
No, I'm kidding.
This is just for the ladies, okay? Because let me tell you something. Two things women love to talk about is periods and shit. I don't know what it is.
That's so true, though.
If you tell a woman, oh, I have cramps or whatever, then they're going to tell you about their situation. And then if you be like, yo, like, I'm like constipated a little bit. Everyone has a story to fucking tell.
Definitely.
It's so crazy. And it's like, you think, oh, that's taboo. Who wants to talk about that? That's not ladylike. No, bitches talk about that. Bitches talk about that more than they talk about guys, I'm pretty sure. Like,
and yo, period poops are the worst, though.
They go hand in hand. Like, that's, and this might be TMI, guys, but that's when I know my period is coming. I'm just like, oh, okay, you're coming down because everything is just out of whack down there, okay? I also wanted to talk about this because I heard a conversation recently, and a lot of women have a lot of misinformation when it comes to their own bodies and their own periods.
That's true.
There's so many like myths and what is it? I want to say Handmaid's Tale, like because the show is coming out.
Can't wait for that.
What is it? Housewife Tale. What is it called? When it's like oh my God!
I can't think
about is fucking Handmaid's Tale. Y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about, all right? But anyway, some myths and some legends regarding your period, right? And in the wake of the Johnson & Johnson news, it's giving people, not a lot of people, they say it was only like 6 to 10 women or whatever. So they say, I don't know how true that is because they're always fucking lying. But Johnson & Johnson, the vaccine was giving women blood clots, right? And that just made me think, we've all been hearing for years, whenever you see a birth control commercial, it's like, if you're over 35, if you smoke, if you do this, if you do that, then you're liable to get a blood clot.
A blood clot, yeah.
I wrote on Twitter and I was like, hey guys, I'm not vax shaming anybody. If you want to get vaccinated, cool. If you don't want to get vaccinated, cool. Like, I'm not here shaming anybody about anything. But if you did get the Johnson & Johnson vaccine and you are in your 30s and you do smoke, and I'm talking about anything, not just cigarettes, we're talking about cigarettes, hookah, weed, vape, any of that shit, maybe talk to your doctor and find out if you can get tested to see if you're liable to get a blood clot because you just want to get ahead of that shit. It's just, you never fucking know. So that just got me thinking about that. And then everybody is fucking pregnant.
Oh, there's a lot of people, right now. Because people were bored during prime COVID. So it's all these little COVID babies.
Everyone has either just had a baby or is having their baby shower like in the next couple of weeks, because everyone is pregnant. So I wanted to talk about the benefits of tracking your period and how to do so. Most people think it's not important because, it comes every month. You'll know you're late when you're late. Like, if it doesn't come in April, I'm going to know it didn't come in April. But it's good to know where you are in your cycle at different parts of the month. That's very important. And I feel like this is some shit we should have been taught in school.
No, that's true. That's absolutely true. Like, I definitely track my period. I've been tracking it for years. Like, I've been using the same period app. I don't even know what it's called. but it comes in handy because you go to doctor's appointments and like, when was your last period? I'll be like, hold on, if I don't remember. Or like, if I'm being, having unprotected sex, and I'll be like, my period was late. Like, like, it's just good to track. But you know what else I do though? On this app, it's called Period Tracker. You can actually like put in like when you had sex and stuff. So like with my ex-boyfriend, I literally would be like, oh, look at December. We only have 3 hearts. There should be a lot more, So like I would also use it like as a sex tracker and be like, we haven't had enough sex.
Hello.
Yeah.
There's not enough love in my app and I'm not feeling this.
Exactly.
Okay? But yeah, it's good to know where you are in different parts of your cycle for sure, because different parts of your cycle can indicate something about your health, like how often it comes, how heavy you bleed, how much pain you may have, how you feel emotionally. All of those can be indicators of something else. So it's always good to get in tune with your body, and tracking your period is the best way to do it, because that's the difference we are between men, right? Men don't have a period.
I know. They're lucky.
Girl. I mean, and see, but I have a son, right? And I always thought guys were lucky, but they be going through it. Like, he's 11 and his voice is changing, and I listen to him and I'm like, your throat must hurt, because there's no way that your voice sounds like that and your throat doesn't hurt.
Oh my gosh. No, I definitely feel like, okay, so guys don't get their period, but I do feel like they have like their own version of PMS, because they be emotional sometimes. So
more emotional than me. I remember I was in a relationship and the guy literally said like, you're the guy and I'm the girl, because it's so bad. I am the most non-emotional, emotional Cancer you will ever meet in your life. It's so bad. It's so bad. In my last episode, I spoke about how all I do is cry. I cry for everything, like literally.
I do too. Then
happy, sad, emotional, fucking everything. I'm crying, right? But in like relationships, I'd be like, no, fuck out of here. I'm a G. Like, I don't want to hear shit. And if I cry, it's because I'm angry.
Exactly.
I don't want to hear it.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
But let's get back into tracking your period. So before we get into why it's a good idea to track your period and the benefits of it, I wanted to tell you quickly how to do it. Obviously, it's easier to use an app. I personally use Flow. You use Period Tracker. They're all the fucking same. Essentially, the way they do it, and if you wanted to do it the old-fashioned way, because if you're like me, you have calendars and books everywhere. You can literally just write down when you started your period. And the more months you can remember going back, the more accurate your predictions of your period cycle will be, which is why using a tracker, sometimes they'll ask you, like, do you remember last month, the month before, and things like that. Me personally, I can usually remember when my period starts because it is such an impact on my life. Like, I can remember. And I'm not even working. And it'll just be like, yeah, last Tuesday I had to go to Rite Aid and buy more tampons or some shit like that. Like, it's always something, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, that's when it started or whatever have you. So I'm usually good at keeping track of when my period starts and all of that. But if you're not, try to write it down. And then from there, you can figure out when your next period can start as well as when you're ovulating, okay? And when people think about that, they're like, I don't give a fuck about when I'm ovulating because I'm not trying to have a baby. Well, guess what? You can use that to not have a baby.
Yep, exactly.
Like, stay away from me on the days when I'm ovulating, or if we do have sex, just be a little bit more mindful, a little bit more careful. Maybe use some sort of contraception.
Exactly.
Me personally, I don't like birth control.
I don't either.
I have not been on birth control consistently since I was like 23, 24. And then in my last relationship, like I kind of felt like pressured into getting on birth control. And after that experience, I'll never do it again.
Really? I know the last time I used to take it as a teenager in like my 20s, and then I tried taking it, I think right when I was turning 30, and that shit fucked me up. Like I was depressed. Like it was bad. It was scary.
It messes with your hormones so much. I mean, think about it. It's literally stopping your body from doing the most natural act it knows how to do. Right? Like you're altering your body in such a way. And people think, oh, it's just a pill. It's just a shot. It's just a ring that you insert. It's non-hormonal. Fuck out of here. It's not hormonal. I don't want to hear that. Yeah. I don't care if the actual birth control doesn't have hormones. It's fucking with my hormones. Exactly. And I'm going crazy. Okay. And I've been on so many types. What birth control methods have you tried?
Dang, I've done everything. I did like the pill when I was a teen, and that was fine, but then I was irresponsible. I've done the little patch, but then it was during the summer and I was swimming too much, so that didn't work out. I've done the one I tried and I liked it for a while was the Nuva ring, but then when I tried it again a few years ago, like that shit fucked with me. Like I was like depressed, suicidal, everything. Like it just really fucked with my hormones badly. So ever since then, I'm just like, nope. Like I just need to be responsible when I'm having sex, basically, because.
Exactly. And it's like I hate the fact that all the onus is put on us. Like, yes, we're the ones that carry the baby. Yes, we're the ones that, you know, if we don't want to have a baby, we can get an abortion. All of that. Like it is. But at the same time, like you're having sex too, so you have to take some responsibility as a man. Yeah. I'm sick and tired. And when I tell you I'm sick and tired of being a single woman and hearing all these men saying that they don't use condoms, that shit is such a turnoff to me. It's a turnoff to me. And it's like, I get it. If you're in a relationship, nobody wants to fucking use a condom, blah, blah, blah. But we're not in a relationship. So you telling me date 2 that you don't use condoms, I'm never fucking you. I'm never fucking you.
No, that's wild. And
maybe it's a New York thing, but I'm over it.
Oh, no, that's everywhere. That's everywhere. Guys are just nasty. Don't they have like a method of birth controls for guys like in the works or something? Because I'm like, they should do something.
In the works, okay? If men could get pregnant, they would have perfected birth control years ago.
That's true.
Years ago. Now all of us, it's so much more easier for a man. Like, I don't know. It just gets me so upset. I know.
I'm like, we deal with periods. We deal with like trying to be safe. We deal with pregnancy. It's just ridiculous. Everything.
All the onus lands on us. And it's so ridiculous. But just to get back into the cycle, because we could talk about my shit all fucking day. I'll pull up my DMs right now. No.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I can imagine.
Girl. But yeah, every woman's cycle is different. So you want to try to figure out what your average time between the start and the end of your previous periods are, so you can estimate when and will your next period will start. The average cycle for an average woman is about 28 days. And it can be as low as 21 or as long as 40. So, like, there's a big gap. Like, literally. Everyone is different, right?
Yeah.
Ovulation usually occurs around 13 to 15 days before the start of your next period. So that's why it's always good to continue to track. So even if you know when your period started this month, you're not going to really get a good gauge of when you're ovulating until you know when your next period starts. So that's why it's like, they call it the rhythm method because it literally keeps on going. Like you can't stop tracking it because any little change, it can really mess up how you're using it as maybe contraception or to get pregnant, whatever have you. So now that we're starting to track our period, why are we doing this? Again, we've said this multiple times. The first reason usually has to do with fertility. Either you want or don't want to get pregnant. And we spoke about this a little bit, but let's get into it. Birth control, right? Mm-hmm. Birth control can literally affect so many things about you. We're talking about weight, mood, skin. It can give you fibroids, blood clots, and I don't know how many of my listeners actually know this because I just found this out probably within the last 2 or 3 years, but birth control was tested on Puerto Rican women in the 1950s.
Really?
a whole thing. They went to Puerto Rico and they decided, because of poverty in Puerto Rico, they wanted to control the population because the poverty was so high, but the population was still steadily growing. They wanted to control the population, and they decided to test birth control on women in Puerto Rico.
Wow.
I believe they were getting paid for it, you know, science, lab rats, and all of that shit. So for me, it's just like, it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Like, you really, like, who knows what those trials might have done to, like, people in my family who are in Puerto Rico.
No,
How do we know
true.
that doesn't go down, like, in our bloodline? Puerto Rico is very, very small. If you're Puerto Rican, you can probably, like, there's probably like a 7 degrees of separation between everybody in that island. It's a very small island.
Yeah.
So if they're testing on people there, you don't know what the fuck it could have done to generations down the line. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is crazy.
That is. I had no idea about that. I'm definitely gonna do research because that shit's
There
crazy.
was a whole documentary on, like, PBS about it in the 1950s before, and they tested the first ever birth control, which was the pill. And yeah, they did it on Puerto Rican women.
Wow.
So I've been on the pill, birth control, when I was in high school. That was the first birth control I was ever on was the Depo shot. And that's because my mom, Mama Kiss, okay? My mom said, that's what she calls herself, Mama Kiss.
That's so cute.
I remember I came home from high school one day and I had a boyfriend, whatever, and she was home. And mind you, she's never home in the middle of the day. She worked 9 to 5, right? So I go home, she's sitting in the kitchen table and she's like, we have an appointment. And I'm like, what do we have an appointment for? She's like, I know you're having sex and we're going to go get you checked out and you're going to get on birth control because you're not having no kids. I said,
Oh my gosh.
I said, okay. I mean, I fuck with it because I was reckless.
No, I fuck with that too. I would do that with my daughter. Like, birth control, boom. Well, I don't know now because now I'm like, my thoughts have changed, honestly. So
right. I mean, in a way, it's like the Depo shot fucked me up. I remember you would get it in, like, the back of your arm, right? Because it has to be muscular. So they would do it, like, in the back of your arm. And it's a thick ass liquid. Like, it looks like sperm. Like, it's so thick and clear and creamy. It's gross.
Ew.
And it's a long ass needle because it has to get in your muscle. And they inject you. My arm, they ask you which is your dominant arm so they can do it on the other one because you can't move your arm for like a day.
Ew.
I don't know if it's different now, but 20 years ago when I got that shit. Oh my
gosh.
That shit was wild. But I didn't have to, there was also, like, I didn't have to worry about getting pregnant. Like, so many girls in my high school, like, oh, let's go to the clinic. I have to go check. I have to go get a pregnancy test. Like, all of this shit. I never had that issue.
And that's good,
because I was on birth control and I could focus on other things. So I get why birth control can be great. However, it fucks with your body so much. And I don't think it's a long-term solution. If you have a kid, 14, 15, 16, you want them to just graduate high school without having a baby, I'm not mad at you putting birth control. Yeah. Because kids, they don't be knowing what the fuck they're doing.
They really don't. I was so fucking stupid when I was that age.
Right? And, like, I know you have a daughter, so that's scary.
Yeah.
How old is she?
She's 13 now.
Oh, so have you had, like, the period talk with her yet?
Oh, yeah, because she got her period, like, the beginning of 6th grade, so beginning of last year. And then we've even talked about sex and whatnot, just because these kids be fast, extra fast nowadays. So, like, I'm always like, don't have sex.
Yeah, and it's like you could say that until I mean, it's easier for you now, I feel like, because now you're home, right?
Yeah.
So she has less freedom, quote unquote, to, like, when you're at work, because that's when I did all my shit.
Oh yeah, same.
I was fucking 9 to 5. Okay.
I'd be like, we have till 6:45 when my mom gets home.
It's so crazy. But yeah, so that's that on birth control. Getting back to your cycle, there are certain parts in your cycle that can mean certain things, right? So of course we all know menstruating, that's when you're bleeding, right? I don't know about you, but you've been tracking your period. Have you ever noticed when you're ovulating that you feel sexy as fuck, because me?
That's your sexy time.
Girl, it's like my body is like, so are you gonna get pregnant this month? Cause I think you look good.
Oh my gosh. You know what? Honestly, with the ovulating, I haven't tracked as much. Like, I can look on my app and see, like, okay, I'm supposed to be ovulating today. So, like, the most I'll do is, like, all right, you can't nut in me, or you can't, you know, like, use a condom. Because my boyfriend and I, we really don't use condoms. Because we're at the stage right now where we're like, we don't, if we get pregnant, then that's fine, you know? So,
Right.
it's kind of like whatever. But I'm going to track that more now because I want to have my little sexy day.
Girl, I be feeling like I feel skinny, like my stomach is flat, and then it'll be
Really?
out of nowhere. And then I look, and I remember what got me thinking about this, what got me correlating that to ovulating was a meme that I saw. And
Oh,
it was
really?
like, and it was like on my period, like, and it's like an ugly picture of somebody and they just look sloppy or whatever, and then it's like ovulating and it's Rihanna in her carnival costume.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. No, but one thing that I do like right before I get my period, like a few days before I get my period boobs, and my titties are like on point and like big, and like my man be like, oh yeah. That's one thing I do, like my period boobs.
But it's like, I wonder if it's literally like, because you know, with animals, when the female animals are like ready to have sex, like they throw off pheromones or whatever have you. I wonder if that's our thing. Like, yeah, bitch, I'm feeling sexy as fuck. I want to fuck you tonight.
I want to get fucked.
Come
That's
in
true.
me.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Because listen. Oh, and another thing for any guys who stood to this point, anything a woman says during sex is a lie. I'm gonna just tell you that. I don't mean actually come in me. I don't mean that this pussy is yours. Sometimes I might not love you, but I might say it because I love you in that moment.
At the moment, yes. Yeah.
So that's just a PSA for anybody who doesn't know. So let's get into some myths about our periods, right? Because these kind of like threw me off guard. And what got me thinking about this was I was on a live, right? And this woman was talking about she had just had a baby or whatever, and she's breastfeeding. And she's like, yeah, because, you know, you can't get pregnant while you're breastfeeding.
You absolutely can. You know how many people have kids that are like, what are they called when they're close in age? There's like a
Irish
term.
twins.
Yes,
Irish
yes.
twins. So I'm just like, ma'am, this is when you're the most fertile. Like, what are we talking about? She's
For
like,
real.
no, when you're breastfeeding, you don't. I'm like, no, ma'am. I said, no. So I wanted to Google, like, how many myths do these women really believe
That's so crazy.
about their periods, right? You know, Handmaid's Tales.
Oh my gosh.
So the first one is that you cannot get pregnant during your period.
That's so dumb.
That is a lie.
That
For
is.
anyone who doesn't know, yes, you get pregnant during ovulation, and that usually happens after your period, yes. But sperm can live inside you for a week. So if you drop that egg 5 days after your period, there's a chance that you can get pregnant.
I know.
It's
And a lot
slim.
of people have that misconception. A lot. They're like, oh, you have your period. It's fine.
It's like, where did you hear that? Like, who said that? That's
I
not how
know.
it works.
Who made
at
that
all.
a thing? Like, who made that
Men.
a thing?
Men. They're like, this is the perfect time to do it. In their mind, they're probably, that's what justifies running the red light, right? They're like,
Yeah.
oh, run a red light if I could come in the bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, men be really thinking like that. So I'm pretty sure that was started by a man.
Probably.
Myth number 2 was that you should avoid activities like exercise and sex when you're on your period, which is a myth because you shouldn't avoid
Yeah.
exercise. It just makes you feel better overall. Sometimes your period makes you feel like you want to avoid exercise and you just want to crawl in bed and not move for days and hours at a time, but you should definitely get to moving. I feel like it helps me personally with like my cramps and stuff.
I need to
when
try
I'm actually
that.
active.
I have like the one day where I'm like dead and like I'm just stuck in bed all day, but for the most part I try to like stay active.
Oh my goodness. So for me, the sleepy part is the week before.
The
week
PMS
before
week.
my period, I don't want to get out of my bed. And every month I'm thinking I'm going through a bout of depression. Every month. Because I'm just like, why don't I want to get up? Why am I so tired? And then it's like, oh yeah, my period is coming.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just get up because it's just my body is working overtime and that's why you're so fucking tired.
That's true. I'd be like, damn, I have no motivation or nothing. I just want to eat chocolate and stay in bed and watch TV.
Oh my God. My corner store, I had to tell the guy, I was like, I need you to do me a favor. Do not order any more Haagen-Dazs chocolate ice cream pints, okay? Because that is my weakness.
That
and I
sounds
love
so
them
good.
shits. Oh my God. Haagen-Dazs chocolate ice cream is A1. Can't no one tell me otherwise.
No, that shit is good. And I'm PMSing right now, so I'm about to go to the bodega after this and get some.
I think I have some in my freezer. I'm not even going to lie.
Lucky. That or Ben and Jerry's. Ben and Jerry's fish food is like my favorite, like, period, like, ice cream.
Really?
Actually,
I've never had that.
My all the time ice cream, actually. What the fuck? Yeah, it's like chocolate. It has marshmallow in it. It has fucking like little chocolate fishes. Like, it's just good. It has like mad good shit mixed together.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so you like a busy ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
I'm real big on plain. Like, I love chocolate. I love vanilla bean and cookies and cream. That's it. Okay. Those are my three.
The classics.
The classics. I would buy things like those Ben and Jerry, because Ben and Jerry, they just throw everything in them shits. Like, so I have like 2 pints of Ben and Jerry's in my freezer that I never eat because I'm just like, this is a lot. There's a lot going on.
I know, but it's so good in your mouth. You need to try it.
Oh shit, I'll figure it out. All right, so myth number 4: PMS is all in your head.
Hell no, that's a fucking no. It's not in my head. It's not.
I mean, it might be in my head. That don't mean it's not real. Okay, like
exactly.
It's literally in my head because I'm going crazy. But that shit is real life. And you did something to fucking piss me off. And just because I might have a little harsher reaction because I'm PMSing, but you did something. It's not in my head. Though.
But you know what I hate? When I'm not PMSing and you're like, are you about to get your period? Like,
oh, it's so condescending.
That gets me so angry. I'm like, no, I'm just mad, but I'm not PMSing. Which sometimes I'm like, you know what, I am PMSing, but still, you shouldn't say that to me. And now I'm gonna cry.
And it's like, and what's crazy to me is that men will be the first ones to be like, oh, get on birth control, get on birth control, get on birth control. Are you ready for birth control, Stephanie? Because I don't think you are. Because I'm fucking crazy on birth control. I remember one time, the last time I got on birth control, and this was NuvaRing, because it's the non-hormonal one, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was on NuvaRing, whatever. I'm on the train, pre-COVID, heading to work, right? Chilling. This was pre-COVID, no mask, right? So you see my face. And I'm just sitting there. And I think I was listening to the radio or a song or something. And something popped into my head about my boyfriend at the time. And as I'm sitting on the train, I literally had a whole internal argument with my boyfriend about something that I heard. And I started crying.
Oh my goodness.
I started crying on the train. And I know people were looking at me like
what is wrong
with her? You were just
her?
fine. Like, wasn't she just singing City Girls walking up the steps? Like, what the fuck happened?
That's so funny.
The fuck out. But it's literally like hormones, and you get crazy hormones already with your period, right?
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, fucking imitation hormones or whatever it is that they put in you.
Yeah,
like,
all those chemicals. Yeah,
you're liable to be all the way fucked up. I would really recommend thinking twice before you try to pressure your girlfriend to get on birth control, because I heard a story once where this woman felt like birth control ended her relationship.
Really?
Mm-hmm. As I was doing like research on this, actually. That shit is crazy. She said I was going insane.
I mean, I could believe that. No, I could definitely believe that. Because like I said, the last time I took it, and it was NuvaRing also, like I was just fucking wilding out, like so emotional, so sad. Like I was just going through every fucking emotion. And I was like, what's wrong with me? Like there's nothing in my life to be causing me depression necessarily. Like I was just trying to figure everything out. My friend and I, okay, like what's different in your life? And then she was like, bitch, your birth control. And I was like, yo, I with the quickness, I was like, took my NuvaRing out and like threw it out.
And you feel almost, not instantaneously better, but with the NuvaRing, kind of, sort of. Like, I feel like within the week, I was fine after not putting it back in. Like, it's just so weird how much it can actually control you.
Yeah,
So,
it's
ladies,
scary.
take care of your wombs, man. Take care of them because there's so much going on, fibroids, cancers, and all this shit. Just try to love yourself and put a little bit more work in. Tracking your period is a little bit of work, and you know, it can be cumbersome, and if you have to tell your man like, hey, don't come in me today, just say don't come in me today.
Definitely. Even though it does feel good, but you know.
See, like, does the coming in you part actually feel good to you? I feel like it's okay. It doesn't really.
You're like, I could go without it. No, but I don't know. I think it feels good. It's not like I do it all the time, but when it does happen, I enjoy it.
If you like the throbbing, right? Because there is like a throbbing aspect of it. If you had a period, if you had a condom on, if you had a condom on, you'd still feel that throbbing. So, I'm just saying, ladies. I'm just saying. I'm big on condoms. I'm pro condom over here.
Yeah, but you're right though. Just definitely like take care of your bodies because your body is your temple. So take care of her.
For sure. Okay. And we're going to get into our next segment because I'm tired of talking about periods. Right? And I want to talk about something a little bit more creative. And that is actually the creative process, right? With my live show coming up, I have so much content planning and so many things going on. I just like to think about my creative process and where I garner my inspiration from. I like to be influenced by people, by my life, stories, media, videos, music, art, just anything can literally like inspire me. Whether it's I'm recording a podcast, making a TikTok, taking pictures, writing things down, whatever have you, like I just love that creative process, right? Recently on your latest episode, you talk about how like you've been designing like little t-shirts or whatever.
Oh yeah.
You know, you're a blogger, you're a content creator, right? What is your creative process like?
To be honest, it's been kind of all over the place lately, but it kind of goes hand in hand. Like we were just talking about how our kids have been home from school, so it's like now I have more like mothering to do. So it's like make breakfast, clean up, and then, you know, go into the office and work. So it's like I've really been trying to time manage better because I feel like I'm all over the place. But I'm also the type that's like when inspiration strikes, it could be like 10 p.m. and if I feel fucking motivated and like, okay, I'm like, let me do this right now, then I'll do it. So I do need to like kind of perfect like trying to like get my life organized because it's not right now, if I'm being completely honest with you.
Girl, whose is?
Yeah.
We don't know what's going on half the time. So it's like, how can we get organized? We don't know what is going on in the world. Like, it's hard. It's hard. But tapping into your creativity is something that can definitely make the days just fly by better. When I'm working, when I'm like, Canva, I fucking love Canva.
I love it too.
Okay,
people be shitting on it, but I'm like, I like Canva.
Canva is fire if you know what you're doing, if you know how to use it, if you know how to look for what you're looking for, like in the elements and stuff. Because let me tell you something. Every time I come out with the artwork, any little line, any little squiggle, any little floating orb you may see on my artwork, it was placed there with intention.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know some people, they just be like. And this is kind of like the difference between creating and mimicking, right? Because we're podcasters, right? We do essentially the same things. It's just our creativity is what separates us, right? We each post episodes. We each have to stay on top of Instagram. We each have to come up with captions. We each have to come up with artwork. It's things like this that we always have to do, just being a podcaster in itself. But you can always see someone's personality, someone's personal creativity, regardless. We can use the exact same color schemes, right? Your colors are like pink, white, like a goldish kind of color, maybe.
Yeah, like it's like an orangey.
Right, okay. I could use those exact same colors as you, but our artworks would look completely different. So that's why the creative process and where you gain like inspiration from, I love to think about like, okay, I like the color like turquoise now.
Yeah.
Right? Turquoise and coral. Those are my two colors.
Oh, those
like,
are two nice colors. I those.
Love them together. And as I'm thinking, I'm like, where did this come from? Right? Like, I always like blue, like whatever, but like turquoise and coral, those are very specific. And one day I was watching 90210. I binge watch TV shows, like that's my jam.
I do too.
Okay, old TV shows especially, like I'd be like, oh shit, I didn't know Dylan did that to Brenda.
Yo, rewatching shit as an adult versus when we were kids, because you know that we were kids when that came out. I'd be like, why was I watching this when I was 8, first of all, and this is so good as an adult.
So good. First of all, okay, this is gonna be a tangent because I've been watching 90210 for like 3 weeks now. I'm on season 3. Okay,
yeah.
I've been like, they already graduated high school. Like I've been on this shit. Okay. I never realized how long the fight was between Brenda, Dylan, and Kelly. Like that shit lasted like a good season.
Oh yeah.
Of him like trying to pick which bitch he wanted.
One?
Like,
yeah.
I'm not gonna be best friends with somebody and then we're both trying to like get with the same guy. It was so weird.
I know.
So
now that you
weird.
look back on it, definitely weird.
I'm like, girl, y'all were like the popular girls in school. Like, you really fighting over him because he has a Jaguar? Like, all of y'all are rich.
I mean, he was kind of cute though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Dylan. I wanted to name my son Dylan, but my ex told me that people would think it's pronounced Dylon, like the rapper. So we didn't do that. I was so mad. I was like, no one is gonna think that says Dylon.
No, that's true.
No.
That's so funny.
Oh man. So, what have you been influenced by recently? Would you say?
I mean, honestly, the last shirt that I made that said the Salvadorian was because I was watching The Mandalorian and I've been obsessed with it. And I was like, Mandalorian rhymes with Salvadorian, so let me make this shirt, especially because I'm obsessed with Star Wars now. So, I mean, just different things, like you said, like TV, music, art, photography, just, I don't know. Whenever inspiration strikes, I try to like, you know, power myself to create something or do something or write something. I've been trying to get more into writing lately because I used to love writing and I've kind of like fallen off that. But yeah, I just try to get inspired by things around me or even traveling. Like I did a little bit of traveling last year, but I want to do a lot more this year, hopefully, because it's nice to go different places and experience different things and just get inspiration from that.
Yeah, I mean, when you stay in your bubble or your box, like, it's hard to get creative because it's like, how many more times can I do the same thing? I need to experience different things, whether you and I'm not saying like for you traveling, right?
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily what I mean. Like maybe listen to different types of music, maybe watch different types of TV shows, maybe other things on YouTube other than like messy drama or whatever it is that you watch on YouTube. I'm not saying that that's what everybody watches because I don't even watch that, but
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's very good to try to like to get influence. And while we are talking about inspiration, and I'm all for inspiring people, whenever somebody says like I inspired them, like my heart just like swells up.
I'd be like, really? Okay.
Me? Like, what did I do? I'm just here like living life. Like I wasn't even trying to inspire anybody. But it's such a compliment, right?
Yeah, it really is.
But there's a difference between being inspired and sloppily copying other people.
That's very true. A lot of people aren't authentic, unfortunately, and like honestly, you can see right through it. So it's like you think you're doing something, but like you're not. Like, and especially with social media nowadays, it's just like super ridiculous.
It's all over the place. And I just want people to be more authentic. Authenticity is key. It's key, whether it's with your artwork or with your podcast. Like, for us, you can hear when it's some bullshit, right? If I wasn't fucking with you, they would be able to hear it in my voice.
Yeah, definitely.
So you have to be authentic with everything you do.
I don't even know how people aren't themselves though. Like that's the thing. I can't imagine having to put up a front like all the fucking time, Like I don't know. That's just
why
crazy.
people be mad. That's why people be mad. People be crazy.
People do be mad. And I've gone, you know, you posted something recently and I fucked with this so hard. You said something along the lines, I think it was on live or something, how like sometimes you just don't give a reaction because like you're like, it's not needed. Like you fucked up. You know you fucked up. And I was like, facts. Like, 'cause I don't be reacting to shit anymore. I'm just like, whatever. Like,
yeah, sometimes silence is golden when it comes to other people. Like, you know what you did. I'm not gonna sit here and I'm not gonna give you the satisfaction of knowing that like you got me here fucked up, because I'm not fucked up. Because at the end of the day, this isn't it, because everything I say everywhere, people think I'm talking about somebody specifically, and it drives me up the wall.
That is annoying. They're like, were you talking about me? And I'm like, no. You know, the only fucking person in this world.
It'll be random people like, who are you talking about? Are you talking about somebody else? And you know me, I go on rants in my Instagram stories all the time just because I don't be having nobody to talk to. So I just be like, you know what I'm mad about today? I'm going to let y'all know what I'm mad about today.
You know what grinds my gears? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not necessarily talking about somebody in particular, but if you did something, or if you try to do something like me in a way where you try to make it better, but it's not like, you can never be me. Regardless if your shit is better than mine, you can never be me, and my shit will always be my shit.
Mm-hmm. No, it's true.
I'm not gonna be upset about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but going back to the thing, like a lot of people aren't authentic. Like I don't know. I don't get it. And like I think with social media, it makes people maybe feel a little more pressured to try and like put up this front. But because I've heard of people putting up fronts, and then I'm just like, yo, that's crazy. Like you bought followers, like you make it seem like you're living a certain life and you're not, you know. And it's like, for what? Like, who are you doing all this for? Like who? I bet you the people that you're doing it for don't even give a fuck, honestly.
Probably not at all. Like they would fuck with you more if you're being yourself. Like this is where people like Cardi B became who she is today because she's never switched up. I've been following that bitch since she was in her red bedroom with Hennessy, that they had the 2 fucking full-size beds. Like, I've been following you for years because you was funny as fuck. And you're the same person. You just have money now. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you didn't really switch up.
Yeah. And that's important, just to be yourself no matter what.
For sure. So, we're going to get into the final segment, which is my favorite segment. And anybody who doesn't know, it's because I'm always asking, are you fucking dead ass? Because I don't know what's going on half the time in the world. And I just really need to figure it out, because sometimes 2 and 2 in my head, I'm just like, it don't make sense.
Yeah.
So before I get into my dead ass, is there anything that you wanted to get off your chest?
You know what? Yeah. When I saw the email from you, I was like, all right, perfect. And it kind of goes hand in hand with what we're just talking about, authenticity and whatnot. I hate people who, like, obviously, like, we're in podcasting, like, but like people, I don't know, like, there's competition, but it should be like friendly, if anything, you know what I mean? But people are just so like petty, I guess. I don't know. And it's like, you know what? And it reminded me of blogging, because like I said before, I started blogging in 2009. So I've been to conferences, like I've met a lot of people and whatnot. And like, even within blogging, there was a lot of competitiveness. And I went to this one conference like years ago, and the CEO of the conference said, you know, if one grows, we all grow. And like, I feel like that's how it should be, you know, because like, you know, if my podcast gets bigger, then like I'm definitely gonna help out those who really fuck with me, who care about us, who, you know, supported us along the way. But I feel like so many people just care about themselves and like are like competing and like comparing themselves to like another podcast. And like you said, we're all different. Like, completely different. Like, yes, there's podcasts that talk about sex, but like maybe they have different sexualities, maybe they're different ethnicities, you know, like we're both moms. I have a girl, you have a boy. Like, it's just, people are so competitive, and it's insane, because I'm like, first of all, there's 24 hours in a fucking day. Your podcast is not 24 hours long. So why, like, people could listen to me, people could listen to you, people could listen to any other, you know what I'm saying? Like, when I used to work especially, I would listen to like at least 5 podcast episodes a day, you know? And that's 5 times, 5 days a week. So that's like a whole bunch of, you know what I mean? It's just like there's enough out there for everyone. So people just need to chill out with the whole competition thing. Like no one's better than no one. Yeah.
I agree. I actually had like a similar kind of conversation with one of my podcast friends recently, and I was like, I'm having a live show, right? Mm-hmm. And someone had said to me like, oh, other people are having live shows around the same time you're having a live show. Like, are you upset about it? No, I'm not upset about it. It's not the same day. We have different audiences. Like, whoever that person is catering for is not the people I'm catering for. Like, good luck to you. I hope you all the best in your live show. I'm not going to sit here because I'm all about karma. All about karma. I'm not going to wish you bad on your shit or anybody else's, because I know about 5 podcasters right now who are planning a live show. Imagine me being mad at all 5 of them because I'm also planning a live show.
That's so stupid. Like you said, we're all different. That's so ridiculous. Like we're all different.
We're all different. We're all different. And we all talk about different things. We can literally all speak about one topic and have 5 different ways to spin it. Exactly.
Different views and whatnot. But people are just like, the competitiveness is like annoying sometimes. Like, I don't know.
For sure. And it's like, guys, no one is mad. I promise. At least not over here. And I can't speak for everybody else. But over here, I'm focusing on me, on my son, and on my businesses, because I have a lot of things that I want to do. And worrying about other people and their pockets is not going to do anything.
Same. And if you are a podcast or even whatever, like, don't compare yourself to other people. Like, don't, like, worry, like you said, worry about yourself. Like,
and also, listeners, don't compare podcasters to other podcasters.
Oh, I hate that so much. I hate when they're like, you're like, call her daddy, or you guys are like horrible, or you guys are like so-and-so. And it's like, we're not, though. Like, I love them. Right, they're great, but we're so different. Like, we all have something different to offer, and listen to all of us. Like,
yeah, like if that's your thing, if you like to listen to sex podcasts, hey, listen to me, listen to Horrible, listen to Hard or Soft, listen to all of these podcasts. But that doesn't, just because you listen to me doesn't mean you don't have to listen to somebody else. That's so stupid.
Exactly. Like,
especially when I listen to them shits. Like, how am I going to tell you not to listen to them?
No, it's true. That's like crime podcasts. Like, I've listened to like 5 different podcasts covering the same fucking crime, but I just like hearing their different, like, you know, perspectives on it. Or like maybe one's more funnier and the other one's more informative. Like, just stop comparing people and stop being so damn competitive. Compete with yourself, not with others necessarily.
Yes, exactly. So to close out the episode, I don't really have a crazy Are You Dead Ass this week. I feel like I've been venting a lot on my Instagram stories, so if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, you should definitely follow me there if you want to hear, you know, who I'm asking if they're dead ass or not. But I did just kind of want to speak on the whole Ma'Khia Bryant situation on the heels of the George Floyd verdict. Yeah. That shit, it's been a crazy fucking week. And like I said, this podcast is usually very lighthearted. I did want to get a little bit serious now and just talk about this because this shit is so disgusting. It's like we had a quote unquote victory, even though the victory is literally just someone being held accountable for the bullshit that they did. Yeah. But we had a victory, and then literally hours later, a little black girl was killed. Like, I didn't want to see the footage, and I don't know if you saw the footage.
I couldn't.
I don't blame you. It was just everywhere. Like, I'm scrolling on social media and like 5 people posted it, which is like, guys, we don't need to post a little girl getting shot 17 times. Like, that's not, I didn't want to see it because for me, and I'm sure you feel this way, it didn't make a difference. I didn't need to see the video to know what that fucking man did was uncalled for, disgusting, like, so fuck you to, I want to say to cops in general. Like, I really do, even though I do know cops.
I know cops too, but it's like I know there are some good ones, but it's just like, damn, the majority rules right now, and most of y'all suck.
Right. And especially if you're white. Sorry. I'm not fucking with any white cops. If you're a person of color, maybe I'll be a little bit more lenient to you if you're not hiding behind the blue wall, like they say. But if you're white, it's like, I really can't. I don't know. Like, I'm looking at you sideways. You know how they say, like, they look at us? Like, no, I'm looking at you sideways because you're the one with the fucking weapon. Who knows what the fuck you're liable to do? You're out here killing children.
That's crazy.
Children.
Mm-mm. And then wasn't there like another case too, like right after that, like a 16-year-old girl?
On Monday, it was a boy. And you know, so it happened before.
No, but there was another one with a girl that she called the cops because there was like someone trying to stab or whatever, even though she was trying to stab someone too. I need to find it. But she ended up getting shot like 4 times and she passed away too.
It's a different girl?
Yeah, she's like,
I thought that's what happened to her.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, so Makaya, I don't know how to pronounce her name. So
how old is she though?
16.
Oh, okay, yeah. Same girl, sorry.
It is the same girl. But there was another boy in Cali that I just read today. And it was on Monday. Apparently, this is what they say, that he had a gun in school. This is what they say. So they called the cops or whatever. And they're saying that they got into a scuffle with the kid and that the kid shot the cop. So the cop in self-defense killed the kid. But it came out that the cop shot himself and then killed the kid.
That's crazy.
So I don't know, like, are y'all not being trained? Because last week it was the bitch who pulled out the gun instead of the taser.
Oh, yeah.
This week it's the guy who shot himself and killed the kid anyway. And also the cop who couldn't de-escalate a couple of girls fighting. Like, how many times have we seen girls being, like, a fight being broken up?
Yeah. No, it's true. And you know what I hate, though? When all these things happen, like, they're like, oh, but they were, you know, a criminal, or they have a criminal past, or blah, blah, blah. I don't give a fuck if they have a criminal past. Or they do, or they don't, whatever. That doesn't justify you killing someone. They can have the longest. At the end of the day. Yeah.
Yeah, and sorry to cut you off, but at the end of the day, when you killed them, you didn't know about their past. So what difference does it fucking make?
Exactly. But I hate when the media's like, they had a long rap sheet, and it's like, okay.
To justify shit.
Yeah, but that doesn't justify anything. Like, I don't even, you know what? It's like, it's crazy because sometimes I like live in this bubble where like I don't even watch the news or anything. And I mean, a part of me is like just because I don't want to hear it and like I just want to like live in this happy little bubble. But then the other part of me is like, obviously that's reality. And like, especially having like a half black child and like, you know, like men in my life, important people in my life, African American and whatnot. Like, it's just crazy. Like, or even being a person of color, it's just like, I don't know. It's crazy. It's so crazy to me. Like, sometimes these things sound so unbelievable, honestly.
They're disgusting. And it's like, this is the world that we're living in. And it's not getting any better. It almost feels like with the age of social media and everybody just being able to record something, put it out, put it on Twitter, do this, do that. Like, it's getting worse.
Yeah.
I feel like it's getting worse.
It is. But I'm like, the people who record and stuff, I'm like, why are you recording and like not helping out? You know what I mean?
It's, you know what? It's weird because sometimes I feel like that. And other times it's like, well, someone has to record it because there were so many years where nothing was being recorded and we didn't know about anything.
No, that's true.
Right? So it's like, where do we stand? If someone's literally getting beat and killed and you're just standing there recording, then that's a different story. But if there's a group of people and you see people helping and your job is to record,
then that's,
you know,
no, you're right. But it's like, I don't know, it just makes me sad. Like, my boyfriend's black and like, on his car, I think I've said this in the past episode of my podcast, but on the back of his car, he has like a Yale University sticker. And it's because his dad was like, yo, just slap this on your car because I feel like it'll help you just a little bit if, you know, a cop pulls you over and they're like, oh, this is an educated black man. You know what I mean? Like, but it's so it's sad that he even has to do that. You know what I mean? Like,
but that's there was like an Insecure episode about that. What was his name? The boyfriend, Issa's boyfriend, Lawrence. So remember, he had like the Jaguar or whatever, and he got pulled over by a cop, and because he had a sticker from his college, the cop let him go. Like, they started talking about college, and the cop let him go. So it's like, that's a real thing, and
it
that's
is
so fucking sad. It's disgusting.
It is sad.
It is nasty.
That's all we can do right now is like
breathe. Is breathe and try to just, I don't even know. I wouldn't know what to do. I wouldn't know what would make things better. But what we are living in right now ain't it. That's all I know.
No, it's true. But I will say, as parents and whatnot, like, we need to teach our kids too, you know, like, because that's where it stems from. You grow up learning, you know, certain things, and you grow up as an adult, and it's like, if you grow up raised to be racist and you never change your ways, then, you know what I mean?
Especially being Hispanic or Latina, I feel like we need to break the generational racism.
Oh, yeah. I feel you on that, because that's very much a thing, like colorism and whatnot, like, yeah.
So it's definitely our responsibility. Like, I know I've said this to family members, like, you can't say that. And let me tell you why you can't say that. Because sometimes it's literally just ignorance. You know
it really is, yeah.
So I'm the one to be like, no, I'm putting my foot up. The only person I don't put my foot on the neck of is my 93-year-old grandma, and that's because she don't know what I'm saying half the time. Like,
no, yeah, same. My great aunt was like that. And I'd be like, whatever, I'll just take your insults right now. But fuck.
Yeah. But anybody else catches these hands, okay? Anybody else? I don't give a fuck who you are.
No,
if you're gonna be colorist, racist, and none of that, I don't give a fuck who you are. It's not about respect on my end, because you're not respectful.
Exactly. So. You're disrespecting me. Like, fuck you. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna end the episode. Tell my listeners where they can find you.
You can find me at Lovely Virginia on Instagram and Twitter, even though I don't tweet that much. And then you can find my podcast, Unrated and Unruly, on Instagram, because we never tweet.
I never tweet from my podcast Instagram either.
Yeah,
it's just like,
I don't know what to be tweeting. Like, I don't know.
I mean, I guess there's things you can tweet, but whatever. But yeah, everything will be linked down below in the show's description. Guys, don't forget to follow me on Instagram _StephyKiss, StephyKiss. I am also on Twitter. That'll be linked down below, but I be ratchet on Twitter. Like, Twitter is my safe zone. I feel like I just write whatever on Twitter.
No, see, I can't even do it on Twitter because for my blogging years, I have, like, a lot of brands following me. So I'd be, like, somewhat PG on there. Like, ugh.
Girl, I don't be PG at all. I told my mom, I said, if you follow, because my mother literally has every social media network ever in life.
Really?
So I'm like, if you follow me on Twitter, I'm blocking you. It's bad enough that you listen to everything else that I do. I need a safe space, and that safe space is Twitter.
Oh,
okay?
my gosh.
Because I know she ain't really fucking with Twitter like that.
Yeah.
But anyways, guys, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Do I Look Fat podcast. I will see you next Fine and Thick Friday. Bye.
Bye.